Hello, junior biologists! Today we are going to make a craft model of the human digestive system. This video is part of a series of videos made for Science Rendezvous with the Toronto Zoo, Let's Talk Science, and the University of Toronto, Scarborough. If you haven't had a chance to check out the zoo's video on different digestion models, you can do so now by clicking the link in the description below. Once you finish watching that video, you can come back here to create your very own human digestive system model. If you've already watched the digestive system video by our friends at the Toronto Zoo, some or all of these words might be familiar to you. Before we get started, I recommend you create this model on a table so you can plan out where exactly you want to place your organs before gluing them down onto a hard surface. I'm going to be using recyclables I have at home to make my model. You don't have to use the same materials as me. In fact, I encourage you to get creative with whatever you have at home. So let's get started. We will begin at the top of our digestive system. Take a moment to think about what that could be. Could it be the mouth? I think so. I'm going to be using some pipe cleaners and small pieces of paper to represent the mouth and teeth on my model. The mouth is the first place our food gets broken down and mixed with our saliva. Our saliva contains an enzyme called amylase, which helps break down starches in our food. Once our food is broken up into smaller pieces in our mouth and coated with saliva, it goes down our esophagus, which connects our mouth to our stomach. I am going to be using a few pipe cleaners joined together, which I have coiled around a pencil to represent the esophagus. You can also use any other cylindrical object to coil your esophagus. Our esophagus pushes down our chewed up food through a process called peristalsis. Peristalsis are wave-like movements that our esophagus makes to help food move down through the digestive system. Great! Looks like our food has made its way through the esophagus into our stomach. I'm going to use cardstock to draw out the stomach shape and cut it out for my model. You can use whatever you have at home. The stomach fills with stomach acid, or sometimes called gastric acid, which helps break down and digest proteins, fats, and other carbohydrates. Our stomach churns the food, and after some time, the food now becomes chyme, a liquidy substance that will have an easier time passing through our next few organs. Now that our food, called chyme now, has had some time in the stomach, it's time for it to move into our next organ in the digestive system. This is the small intestine. Here, nutrients are absorbed with the help of some enzymes. The enzymes come from three other organs known as the liver, the pancreas, and the gallbladder. The liver and pancreas produce the enzymes, and the gallbladder stores any enzymes made by the liver. I'm going to use a cardstock cutout to represent the small intestine, similar to the way I made the stomach. Once I'm done making my small intestine, I'm going to use a white balloon to represent the liver, a smaller yellow balloon to represent the gallbladder, and a blue cardstock cutout to represent the pancreas. Just like the esophagus, chyme moves through the small intestine through peristalsis. Now that our chyme has passed through our small intestine, it's a little dry and has started forming our end product of stool, or poop. Now our chyme passes through the large intestine where salts and water are absorbed. I'm going to use a dark pink cardstock cutout to represent the large intestine in our model. Now wait a second. This large intestine looks smaller than our small intestine, right? So why is it called the large intestine? Well, the words small and large are actually used to describe how long the opening or hole is in each intestine. While the small intestine is long in length, the small intestine has a smaller opening than the large intestine, which is why the large intestine in my model is kind of wide. Next comes the colon, which is actually part of the large intestine and is located at the end of the large intestine. The colon provides the large intestine one last chance to absorb anything it may have missed. This is where the chyme is dried and is now in its final stage of stool, or poop. I'm going to place a label that says colon at the end of the large intestine so I know that this is where the colon is. The last part of our digestive system is called the rectum. The rectum is where our stool is stored until we are ready to poop it out. I'm going to use a very small container which I have cut in half to represent the rectum. Now that we're done our digestive model, let's place all of these materials onto our hard surface. I'm going to be using cardboard as my hard surface. Feel free to be as decorative as you want. I'm carefully going to attach my pieces to my hard surface with glue and tape, and you can use any adhesive that you have at home to attach your pieces to your hard surface. As I attach my pieces to my board, I'm also going to create labels for them so I don't forget what they are. These labels will also be stuck onto my hard surface. So let's begin assembling our final product. I'm going to begin by sticking on the mouth, then comes the esophagus, next we are going to stick on our cutout of the stomach that we previously made. Once we've glued the stomach down, we are going to attach the intestines, the large and the small intestine. Next, we are going to add our balloons for the liver and the gallbladder. And we are also going to stick on our cutout of the pancreas. Lastly, we are going to add the rectum. Don't forget to add labels for all of our organs of the digestive system. I chose to use yellow paper to add some more color to my digestive system model. Feel free to use any color of your liking. And just like that, we're done. And wow, I really like how this digestive system turned out. Thanks for joining me, everyone, and learning about the human digestive system through our fun activity. If you like this activity and want to learn and do more, check our other activity videos and cool zookeep talks by our friends at the Toronto Zoo as part of our Science Rendezvous programming. Stay safe, junior biologists!